Hello, Francisco.
Hello, Mr. Henderson.
Francisco. That's fun to say. Francisco.
Well then, we should be saying Francisco a lot on episode 337 of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro Systems Online. Reflux capacitor fluxing. Scanning room space-time for ALF 2003. Rewinding in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul. He's not an elf, but as tall as a Will Ferrell elf, Powers.com Powers.
Hello, PaulJPowers.com. What's your favorite color?
Teal. That's my favorite color. And I'm very curious what the favorite colors of our guests are. In addition to Paul, we're glad to have back aboard for the podcast, Entertainment Officer Chris Cowan. What's your favorite color, Chris?
I'm very inclusive, so my favorite color is all of the colors of a rainbow.
That's great.
Is that
no,
like an olive green? Olive?
Probably blue. I like blue.
Blue. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude,
and
you took mine. What the heck?
Sorry.
Who the heck are
I took them all.
Yeah, he took them all with the rainbow.
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to Chris,
It's
we're
just-
also
It's so fitting.
You
We're
can't
also
say
glad-
blue, Nate. You can't say blue's your favorite color because I already said it.
Fine. It's not
that's
blue.
ridiculous.
It's like
we're glad to have him
Blue-
back
blue
aboard, Nate
green.
Henderson. Also an entertainment officer. Hello, Nate.
hello. Yeah, I'll just do blue green. How's that? Does that work for you, Cowan? Am I allowed to take that one?
Yeah.
Isn't
I'll
that teal
allow
the
it.
same color as Francisco's?
I mean,
Blue,
kind
green?
of, sort of, but I'll allow it.
It could be an
Oh.
aquamarine or something. Like, it could be different. It could be a different blue.
Sure,
green.
we'll go with
There's
that.
different blue greens. All right. Expand your mind, Paul.
Oh. All right, cool.
You're not.
Oh
You're
my
not thinking
word.
rainbow like me. You got to think rainbow.
Oh, olive colored, right. All of the rainbow colors, right.
Anyway, now that you have a quick flyby of who we all are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for Elf?
Sure thing. Elf, Buddy's Musical Adventure. I'm sorry, Elf, Buddy's Musical Christmas was released December 5th, 2014. It was rated TVG, runs 43 minutes. It was directed by Mark Caballero and Seamus Walsh. Sorry, Seamus. Was written by Thomas Meehan, Bob Martin, Aaron Horvath, and lead stars being Jim Parson, Luke Skywalker Hamill, and Rachel McFarlane.
Paul, I'm wondering, do you think
Yes.
I need to sing out loud and clear to spread Christmas cheer for all to hear?
Yes,
Because
that sounds good.
maybe then
And maybe
I'll
your
get
heart will also grow 3 sizes.
Because then maybe I'll get a Christmas miracle of you actually doing the right movie for a change. We're not
What are
covering
you
whatever.
talking about? This is
Yes, Elf.
Buddy's
just the word
Musical
Elf.
Christmas.
No. See, that's where you got off skew. It's just Elf. That's
What?
the only word in the title.
Oh,
That could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
fine. I'll go back and watch the original one.
Good. Do it.
Elf. No colon. No musical. Was released November 7th, 2003. Runs 37 minutes past the hour mark. Is rated PG and directed by Jon Favreau. Sorry, Jon Favreau. Written by David Barenbaum, something like that. With lead stars being Will Ferrell, James Caan, Bob Newhart, Edward Asner, Mary Steenburgen, Zoe Steenburgen,
Deschanel.
burgers, and Zoe Deschanel. Yes, with music composed by John Williams. Oh, sorry, John Debney. Sorry,
Yes.
that would have been better. But anyway,
Wow.
sorry, Debney. Are you ready for the box office trivia?
I am ready. Chris and Nate, are you both ready?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. And anyone live in chat can play as well. Go for it, Paul.
All right. The movie Elf was made for about $33 million and earned over $230 million at the box office. So given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 2003?
2003. All right. Chris, what is your guess for that?
Oh man, I don't know. It didn't beat Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, obviously. So,
Oh, no, I'm sure it did.
Almost. Maybe it could have been number one that year.
Sure.
yeah,
I shouldn't say almost. That might be given a clue. But
I'm going to say 5. It was number 5.
5. All right. 5. Nate, what is your guess?
I'll take 4, Bob.
Oh, okay. Price is right. And actually, Price is right. Nate with 3. For me, I'm going to stay close to the pack, but I'm going to draft behind you guys with 6. So, Paul,
Okay.
we have 3, 4, 5,
Yes.
6. Where did it actually end up?
not even close. Try 17, according to the-numbers.com.
Ah, man.
Well, it's
I was gonna say
closer
15.
than yeah.
You said it was
it's closer
closer-
than Looney Tunes back in action, which came in at 89. So
Whoa.
good job.
Well, you did
Okay.
throw me by saying, "Oh, it's close to Return of the King." So I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess it's high up there then. But
That's why I said, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Sorry.
Paul. Well, thank you.
But
for
still,
those.
good job. I mean, over
Yes.
230 million came in at 17. Not bad.
I mean, I guess I'm technically
good.
the closest, but I don't feel like a winner. With
Price is right. Isn't that why the captain goes last?
Yes, exactly. That's
So
right.
his odds are better.
Yeah, that's how I play. Anyway, thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind melt or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we will get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert. Target located. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
This Friday,
What's this?
This is the North Pole.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Where's the snow?
Elf is giant-sized fun, raves Joel Siegel.
Did you hear that?
Jeffrey Lyons calls it enormously funny with side-splitting laughs.
This place reminds me of Santa's workshop, except it smells like mushrooms and everyone looks like they want to hurt me.
And Ebert and Roper give it 2 thumbs up.
Looks like a Christmas tree.
Elf,
Sorry I can't ride with you the rest of the way up.
Oh, I forgot to give you a hug.
rated PG, starts Friday.
Waiting on
Anyway,
you,
that
sir.
commercial definitely brings back some memories about Elf, but to give you some context for the things we collectively remembered before our rewatch of this Christmas comedy, here's your memory mind melt synopsis for Elf. Burl Ives, as a snowman, narrates the story of an elf narrating a story of a baby orphan that thinks he's an elf who is kidnapped by Mr. Fredrickson and is raised by the Bob Newhart show at the North Pole and enjoys syrup on spaghetti and celebrating the magic of Christmas until he wants to fight a raccoon. That elf moves to New York and, much like many men who are confused about their identity, invades women's space while they're showering. Mr. Saturday Night Live finds his dad before Captain Kirk does, but Khan doesn't want another son. So more cowbell and family team up with the new girl to fix Santa's slate so he can get back to berate Johnny Lawrence. In the end, he teaches the world to perfect the Spartan cheer. I mean, to have Christmas cheer, and gets his dad fired. I think that was perfect.
And pretty accurate.
No. Yeah, pretty accurate. Though, one thing that wasn't in there was the Bob Newhart show was not in the North Pole. It is there, but not in the North Pole. So, we were definitely decepted. But it'll be interesting. But based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what rating did they lead you to predict for this film before you rewatched it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's begin with Nate this time. What was your prediction, Nate?
I predicted nostalgic.
Nostalgic. All right. Chris, how about you?
I predicted a classic.
Classic for Chris. Paul, how about yourself?
I somewhat enjoyed Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live before seeing this movie. It was hit or miss, but when I saw it in theaters, I think I laughed once in the entire film. And I think I've seen it once since it came out in 2003. So I predicted tragic.
Whoa. Okay. For me, I've seen it a couple times. I remember thinking it's fine. It's been a while since I've seen it. I predicted a nostalgic for myself though, because I felt like it's not the type of movie that I definitely want to watch every year for Christmas, but it's generally pretty good to put on for Christmas, I think. So yeah, nostalgic for me. And it'll be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's get into the things we liked most about Elf. Alice, spin up our
Best bits.
best bits. And our best bits are brought to you by Paul J. Powers at pauljpowers.com.
pauljpowers.com.
Indeed. All right, let's start with Mr. Paul. What's one thing you liked, Paul, about Elf?
I like the set design. I'll say that. I thought it was cool.
New York. You like how they designed New York?
I was about to say I like how they built I was going to get to the New York. Yes, we can include the scenery of New York. Yes, it was actually better than the North Pole. But if you want to put it all the architecture to build New York, yes, it was much better than how they built the North Pole. But I liked how they used like forced perspective in the North Pole. It was weird that they chose white so that because they were trying to copy the Rankin Bass look of Rudolph. And how the North Pole was like all the backgrounds were a lot of white in there, like the wood and all the buildings were white inside. And they didn't, I might be burping a lot because I'm drinking a whole 2 liter of soda during this whole thing, like Buddy is.
Okay.
But
wow.
It's weird to me that with everything being white, their costumes kind of really stood out, almost like it was like blue screen or green screen, and they did everything in the North Pole almost practical because they wanted to get away from the computerized look so that it would age well. But then as it ages, that white against the colors looks like it's computer generated. But anyway, it was a good try.
Okay, I didn't really notice it. I noticed the forced perspective, which I'll comment on a little bit later, but actually, no, that is one of my likes. So let me just talk about it now. I will say, though, some of the forced perspective is really blatant. Like I can think of the one point where Buddy is talking to Ralphie, and it's just like I could tell that they're not in the same place in terms of like a depth. But I still
there were a couple times, but again, I thought it was. Because of the line, I didn't know it was forced perspective. I thought it was just green screened weird.
Oh, okay. No,
Until later, I found out it was forced perspective.
Okay. I was gonna say,
yeah.
I imagine it was forced perspective. So, but
I saw the behind the scenes because I was there. No, I wasn't. But anyway, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I really enjoyed all the stuff at the North Pole. That was one of my likes. Chris, did you enjoy the North Pole stuff? Or was it more when it got to New York or something else?
Yeah, that kind of ties into my first one. Just a lot of like classic Christmas references. So like the Rankin Bass aesthetic, and then, the For a Live snowman character, and then having just a lot of nods stuff throughout it. The boy from A Christmas Story played that head elf. There's the bridge scene that's a reference to It's a Wonderful Life, and I like that they had all that but they also do it without sacrificing the movie's kind of own unique Christmas flavor. It still stands on its own. It's not like leaning too heavily on all that. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
I
totally see
agree.
that. Nate, do you feel like this stands well in the sort of I'm trying to think of pantheon of Christmas movies, or like, and if so, what about do you like?
Yeah, no, Chris stole mine again. It steals my color, and then
Just a big
steals
stealer.
my like. It's just the way it goes. No, I really liked the nods as well to the classic Christmas stop motion movies that a lot of us grew up watching. I almost wish that they had done more of that. Like, it was very just brief. I mean, and it's probably because they had to like pay for more special effects and things like that. But I was almost kind of wanting the story to make its way back to the North Pole, just so we could kind of see more interactions with Kara. I thought the little penguin and walrus guys were just funny, just crying and like, saying goodbye, and the Norwal popping out. Like, they could have done, I think, more even nods to Rank About, but I don't know, maybe they just wanted that little nod, and then it was off to New York. But like, so much of it too was in New York. I think they kind of did themselves. It was probably cheaper to film too, just to have a majority of the film in New York. But I kind of wish that they had done more just stuff around the North Pole. Yeah.
And that's pretty much stealing my next like as well. So there's a big like thieving from one another.
Steal fest.
I so enjoyed, and often, so I'll say I feel like often I don't really care for live action movies that have animated intros. Like, I think back to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I don't think I really like the intro to that.
It's one of the better intros.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's
What
Dead.
is wrong with you?
What about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? It's a great animated intro.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. Anyway, but this one,
the Pink Panther movies? No, all right.
I've never seen them. For me, there was something so nostalgic about seeing the claymation stuff in the intro, and then again, and I feel in the movie, and I feel the same way, Nate. I would have loved to have had so much more time in the North Pole. Like, I love this whole trope of this elf or buddy being a fish out of water. And I guess he is a fish out of water in New York, but I liked it so much more as a fish that's out of water that doesn't know he's out of water in the North Pole. I thought that was so much more funny, so much funnier. So I would have loved them to, have come back for a lot more of the movie, or just had the whole movie in the North Pole, maybe start in New York, which I guess it does in the orphanage, and then go to the North Pole. But yeah, so that is my next like as well. Let's go back to Paul. What's something else you liked, Paul?
I like that this movie had a variety of humor. And now not everybody's going to like every type of humor. So that had a little bits of different types almost for everybody. Like, I really enjoyed like the slapstick humor of him running into the lockers or jumping onto the tree. I found really funny. And there was a couple other things in there. So I appreciated the variety of humor in there.
Yeah, that's fair. Some of it was totally gross though. But
eating the gum off the is that what you're thinking?
That
was the moment in the theater that I laughed out loud.
Oh my word!
See,
all right,
strokes for different folks.
I guess. Chris, was there a specific element of the humor that you really appreciated that made your like list, or something else?
Yes, but I want to save it.
Okay, yeah, then go for it. But what was something that you did
later.
like?
I liked the soundtrack. I thought and I'm probably stealing Nate's again or something, because Nate's a big soundtrack guy. You shouldn't be having me go before Nate. Okay.
No, I didn't. I didn't even mention the soundtrack.
That's one
I'm
of his
not mentioning the
tragic
soundtrack.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah,
are you
there you
talking
go.
about this?
Um,
Are you talking about the score? Or are you talking
Yes.
about the choice songs within it, or both?
My answer is yes.
Okay,
I'm
all
a
Okay, cool.
sucker for like the jazz vocal standards, and I also like. I think the soundtrack is really catchy and Christmassy and memorable. So
Yeah.
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 Very,
I
very
really
cool.
thought this song right here went really well. Finally, with one of the movies that we reviewed. Oh wait,
How does
this song
this
wasn't
go
in
well
that,
with
but
that?
it could have fit so well. Huh? What was that?
I said, how
didn't hear
does
you.
that go so well with it? But okay.
It's the,
Yes,
you know,
we-
like when he's going like around in the turnstiles and things. I could definitely hear that music going on.
I will say I am kind of shocked that not only is we have several people in chat, Ashley, Sean, Cleva, thank you all, anyone else watching, thank you for being here. I am shocked that so many of you are not like it, don't like this movie. I thought it was just an Ashley thing, but there seems to be a
Really?
quorum of people that don't like this movie. So thank you for being here, but we see you, but we're going to carry on with we're in the
You are
like
heard.
section, guys. And Nate, what's one thing you liked before we get to our classic makers?
I liked a lot of the slapstick in it too. There were some funny moments, and
Yeah.
one thing I had totally forgotten about that just caught me by surprise on the rewatch, but I had forgotten how mad Peter Dinklage gets at Will Ferrell and just starts beating the crap out of him. That was just, I couldn't help but just laugh at that scene, especially since like Peter Dinklage hadn't been on Game of Thrones yet.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
like his big,
Right.
you know, that really made it
Yeah.
popular. But so it's funny that he was less known at that time, but he just went for it, man. Just like he just
Yeah.
he just totally, because you think that the joke is that he's commenting on Peter Dinklage's size, and you think that the movie might go the respectful route about that and just make Buddy look like a
Right.
total, you know, like he's overreacting. But no, they have they have the dwarf jump on the table, run to him, put him in a headlock, and just start doing all this stuff. And so even the movie's like, this whole premise is ridiculous. We're going to go for it.
Yeah.
And kudos to Peter Dinklage for really selling that scene. I thought it was
Absolutely. Yes, for sure.
Ooh, he's an angry elf.
Oh my gosh.
great. Does Santa know you're here?
Wow. Let's go to classic makers now. And Nate, just so that Chris doesn't steal yours, I'm just going to go right back to you. What's your classic maker for?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if anybody else has this. I think the best scene in the movie is him confronting Santa, or the mall Santa, and getting in his
Oh, yeah.
face, because
Good.
up until that point, he had been so cheery and happy, and it was such a contrast to just see him just speak doom into this mall Santa's face, and just it was just such a good turnaround, and it was just, I don't know, I thought it was the best scene. I thought Artie Lang did a good job as the mall Santa, and it just was, it was a good back and forth, a good setup. So that was for me made it worth it.
Worth the price of entry.
So
awesome.
I didn't realize, Francisco, but
such a great
speaking
scene.
of that scene, you and I are both mentioned in this film. I mean, you, of course, are featured in this film with your name, Francisco, but
don't
Paul
I
is the
know
name
it.
of the little boy on Santa's lap who sits on a throne of lies and smells like beef and cheese.
Oh,
By the way, that kid doesn't look 4. He looks 6. I don't know why they say he's 4, so I was a little thrown by that.
They said he was an extra that was that age. So they went with his real name and his real age.
He's a big 4-year-old. Okay, I'm cool.
Yeah.
well, just like high schoolers in movies are 30, you know. So it's,
Right.
it's just they never quite get the casting right in that regard.
Maybe he's just a tall kid. What are you?
Yeah.
A bigot.
We have elves and giants in this movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Chris, I'm big on hearing from you about your classic maker. What is it?
To me, I think the humor is fantastic. Kind of like Paul said, or Nate. Yeah, Paul. Like, just there's a variety of humor.
Yes.
And I like, there's a lot of fun slapstick. There's a lot of like situational fish out of water jokes, kind of playing off of Buddy's naivety. But my favorite are like kind of the character driven, like kind of like it doesn't really have to do with the movie, but they kind of throw it in there, and it's just like kind of a subplot, like the whole like thing with the receptionist being on the phone when Buddy first walks in is like, I don't know, Connie, I've never declawed kittens before. Or
yes.
Just like random stuff like that. She was probably improvising that, and they left it in, and it has nothing to do with the scene. Or the news team like digging at each other. And then the man on the street being like, I think you're a great reporter, Charlotte. Your eyes tell the story, and you've got a great mouth too. Like, just it has nothing to do with it, but it's just like funny and quirky, and it's because the characters are really just so good. In it. So that makes it a classic maker.
They hired so many comedians to be extras, and when you have that many comedians, you got to have them improv. So that half the script, especially the guy who was just totally praising the on the street reporter. Like, I've seen him in other stuff, and he was just probably just making like borderline creepy, weird compliments. It was so good.
Awesome. Okay,
and that goes right into mine.
Okay, go for it, Paul.
And that's basically the cast itself. I mean, you had Will Ferrell be the star drawing people, but you had James Caan, you had Mrs. Doc Brown in there, Zooey Deschanel, and even like Peter Dinklage you mentioned, and even Faison, the North Pole employee guy, the head guy there. He was funny.
Yes.
So the overall, not just Will Ferrell, but everybody else around that, I think really lifted up this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Cleve in chat said earlier that Faison was the saving grace for this movie because he doesn't care for it. And Ashley says the classic maker for her is the end credits. Wow, because it helps you know it's over. Jeez. For me, my classic maker is not the end of the movie. It's not that. It's over. I actually, speaking to sort of going off what you said, Paul, I really, really liked James Caan in this movie. I think this is my favorite role of his. He just feels like such a grounded character of this dad that's he's just career driven, but he's doing it because he wants to provide for his family. He's doing that, and he doesn't really see a way out to both spend time with his family and still take care of the bills. I mean, that's the sense I get from him. And so when this whole thing with Buddy happens, it throws him for a loop because now he has to like figure out how this works into his family. And I'm glad that I feel like it's a bit too contrived. Oh, he started his own publishing company and now it's great. I feel like there's no struggle there. I feel like it wraps up too nicely with the bow with his character, but he felt really
that's
real
like a year or two later. That's like a year or two later.
Oh, I thought it was the next
because at that time, that's when Buddy and what's her name, Jovi, have a baby.
Oh, is
at
that
the same time? I think. I don't know. It plays with time at the end there, so you don't know the struggle with that. But I can see that.
It was very timey-wimey.
Yeah, exactly. Miss Doc Brown got her husband to come and
there you
mess
go.
with the timeline. Yeah. Okay, so that was my classic maker, guys. All right.
How many husbands does she have?
Just Ted Danson, I think, from Cheers. Ashley always says, "Oh, that's Ted Danson's wife."
3 and counting.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay. So now that you know the things we liked most about Elf, But let's talk about something that you may not know, some trivia about the movie Elf.
Okay, now cue the music and that star thing.
And today's trivia about the movie Elf is brought to you by The Cellcast. The Cellcast, hosted by Jacob and Drew, review animated movies and TV shows discussing what they appreciate about the medium in whatever form it takes. Whether it's traditional hand-drawn animated movie, claymation shorts like the intro to Elf, a 3D CGI series, whatever it is, check out some animated reviews when you subscribe to The Cellcast at thecellcast.podbean.com. And don't forget, Cell is spelled with a C and a single L at thecellcast.podbean.com. So thank you, Cellcast.
That's great, Francisco.
Thanks. And
I'm just saying that's great.
I'm glad you think it's great. Now
You're doing great. You're really telling it with your eyes, and you've got a nice mouth.
Do I have a really strong
I agree on the mouth
jaw?
comment.
Wow. Okay. Did you all realize the apartment in which Buddy's dad lives is the same apartment building, the exterior shots anyway, in which Dana Barrett lived in Ghostbusters from 1984? Yeah, the
Exterior shot. Because
Yes.
the interior was shot in an abandoned mental institution in Vancouver.
Really?
But okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's random. Bonus trivia. With that in mind, though, my question to you all is, if you could add the Ghostbusters, Venkman, Egon, Ray, Winston, add the Ghostbusters into any Christmas story or movie, which would it be and why? So we'll start with Paul.
Well, unlike this movie that I've only seen twice up to this point, and now more for this review, every Christmas I watch the real Ghostbusters animated. One of the episodes is called Xmas Marks the Spot. And that's where the Ghostbusters go back in time into the Dickens, and they capture the ghosts of Christmas spirit, the past, present, and future.
Okay.
And so it's already been done, and I like the way they do it. So that immediately comes to my mind so
you want the
Carol.
movie Ghostbusters to go into the real Ghostbusters episode of them going back to the Christmas Carol?
You didn't say the movie. You just said Ghostbusters, and Ghostbusters is that part of the animated. But yeah, if you want to take the movie and do a live action of that would be great.
That's what I meant. Okay. All right. But that's fair. All right. Let's go to Chris next.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, like, if you want Ghostbusters in a movie, like, you tend towards the story that has ghosts in it, like Christmas Carol or something. But I was thinking, how rad would it be if they went into a nativity story?
Oh,
and they show up and they're just there
and they captured the angels delivering the messages, or what?
Well, I wasn't going to go there because I don't think the angels are ghosts. But
let's let Chris finish. Paul, hold on.
All right, I'm sorry. You got me
It's
so excited. This sounds amazing. I'm in. I want to hear more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of thought like they'd come and like maybe protect baby Jesus in the manger from any like ghosts that are trying to, I don't know. But nice. I just thought it would be cool to have them in there. And
they're trying to stop
made me wonder like what kind of gifts they might bring.
Yeah. Sorry, you were talking over each other, so I couldn't quite hear. You both finishing your stories.
I'm so excited with all this soda I'm drinking. But go ahead, Chris. Say it again.
No, it's done. It's done. The moment's passed. It was,
wow.
I don't know. I didn't actually have I didn't actually have much of an idea. I just thought I was just trying to be controversial. Throw in the nativity story. See what happens.
Well, that backfired
That's all I got.
Gloriously, Chris, because it got Paul so excited. All right.
We greenlit it. We're shooting it next weekend. You're being flown in as one of the writers. Come on.
Chris is going to play baby Jesus. All right. Nate, how about
Someone's
you?
got to.
My energy can't compete with a 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola. I'm watching Paul's liver fail in real time. All right, so this is, no, actually, Paul, I had no idea that was an actual cartoon story that they made, because my idea was also for the Ghostbusters to pop up in A Christmas Carol.
Oh, okay, fine.
But it would almost kind of be like a real dark comedy where by them capturing the ghosts, Scrooge is never redeemed. Tiny Tim dies. It'd be like a total Darren Aronofsky take on The Christmas Carol. It would be just hilarious. So,
dude, that's spoiler. That's how the cartoon is. Like they go back to their normal time after capturing the ghosts, and everybody hates Christmas because they follow Scrooge's example.
Nice.
That's funny.
You know what? Talking about this made me think it'd be kind of cool. I don't know how you do it, but you have the Ghostbusters go into the movie Scrooged, where Bill Murray is playing Scrooge. So he's playing Venkman and Scrooge. And I don't know how, if you want to have them maybe flip flop, like a Freaky Friday type thing in the midst of all that, it's probably too convoluted at that point. But I just think that might be funny.
No, sorry, we're not greenlighting that. We're greenlighting Chris Cowan's idea of the nativity.
Fine. Well, you know what? Let's, before we get to the reason we may
mine's
not.
simpler. Ghostbusters and Jesus.
Yeah.
That's right. Directed by Mel Gibson.
Before we get to the...
Written by Quentin Tarantino. Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
And now that we've all had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, the Rad Rewinders, had about Elf.
All right. First, from FireJoyStudios.com, Dustin Warford says, someone put tragic? He's commenting on the vote that the reflux capacitors get to have for this.
Oh, yes. And wait, there's more. Because the Book of Gamings from X said, it's a family favorite. Family favorite. Man, this soda's really kicking in. It's a family favorite. Jeez, I can't even say this. God. It's a family favorite. And we love this movie.
All right. Some insights from Instagram are, eMoneyDub says, you sit on a throne of lies. You don't smell like Santa. You smell like beef and cheese. I like to whisper too. All right.
Diving into Discord, we have That Sour Babo saying, still haven't seen it.
All right. And as of tonight here in chat, he still hasn't seen it. And then finally from Facebook, Dustin Warford continues his comments saying, immediately a classic, full of joy and fun. Only Will Ferrell could have pulled this off. A must watch. Santa, I know him.
Kevin Joshua Burnham says, a fine, fun movie that is a love letter to many other classic Christmas movies, including actors, actresses, props, and animation from those movies people find enjoyable. Not everyone can have a soul and enjoy the simple things.
Okay. Diane
Shots
Blick says, the food groups. I think what is it? Candy canes, candy corn. Well, I forget the other ones.
Syrup.
Do you guys syrup? What's the other one?
I don't remember.
Sugar?
Sorry.
Wow.
Sugar.
Reese's peanut butter cup trees should be on there.
Jesse Cleva Vital says, one of the most annoying movies ever. Thumbs down.
Ooh. Jeremy Shields says, I'm a rare person that didn't like it. Will Ferrell isn't funny. He's just annoying. Ooh.
Philip Kuntz says, I personally like the movie all right, I guess, but I agree with Jeremy. Will is annoying.
And Ashley Ruiz cues the Duel of Fates music when she says, Elf is one of the most cringeworthy holiday films ever made. Will Ferrell, clad in elfin garb, screaming obnoxiously on location around New York City is the biggest waste of 90 minutes I can think of. Find holiday cheer with another film. Dun, 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 dun. Or that. And thank you all for sharing your memories. And I think Ashley and Phil and Jeremy and Cleva's comment leads us right into things we didn't like about Elf. Yes, I see that you repeated it's a tragic, Ashley. Thank you. But let's get into our tracking makers for Elf.
Worst woes.
And our worst woes of Elf are sponsored by
Francisco, that's fun to say. Francisco.
Yeah, you can join Francisco in Discord community at retrorewindpodcast.com/Francisco. Sorry, /Discord. retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord.
Thank you, Paul. All right, guys. Yes. So I think I've shared the story before, but I used to work.
Francisco.
It's a fun name to say.
I used to work with the youth at my church back in like the late 2000s. So this movie was even more in the zeitgeist than it is now. And that was every Christmas season.
And 3.
I guess that's appropriate since Andy Richter was in this movie. But they would always go, Francisco. That's fun to say. And I don't think I had seen Elf at the time, so I didn't quite get it.
Oh, no.
Regardless, let's get into things we didn't like. And let's start things off with Chris. What's one thing you didn't like about Elf?
Honestly, it feels kind of like an unkind metaphor for homeschoolers, and I take that personally. So, yeah. If you think about it,
I don't get it. Because Buddy was homeschooled.
Talking about the youth that he was watching?
Just the sheltered,
I missed it. Sorry,
sheltered person who's not used to the real world coming out into the real world. Don't worry about it. It was a joke. Never mind. It didn't land. No, actually,
I'm sorry.
I think my actual one is that it kind of features a Christmas package that I don't want to see early, and that's the tight tights that Buddy was wearing. They were a little bit snug at times, and I found myself averting my eyes. So,
Fair. Okay.
There you go.
I didn't really, that didn't hit my mind, but that's now it will. So thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Especially now that it's in high def.
With that in mind.
Yes, exactly.
In glorious 4K.
Nate, what do you wish was in 4K about this movie?
I thought that the publishing CEO was just a little too over the top.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like it wasn't.
Sure. I don't care. Christmas Eve.
For whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. Normally villains like that, it's like they kind of just like forced him to be the villain. And normally that doesn't bug me, but for whatever reason, the guy was just like, nobody would put up with somebody like that as a boss for that long. I don't think. So it just wasn't even in the realm of believable, but what are you gonna do? It's not like majority of the movie isn't goofy anyway. So, but for whatever reason, his take on it just didn't. I didn't like it.
Speaking of unbelievable things, let me name you a few that I will package into my first dislike. Okay, so first off, Buddy is finally earned the ability to apprentice with his dad, the dad elf. I forget what he's called actually.
Papa Elf.
He earns the right to apprentice with Papa Elf to help get the sleigh working right, which is great. That's seeding later that he's going to be able to do it in Central Park. Fantastic. No problem there. However, why then is he still making toys? And he's like, oh, he's not keeping up to quota. Why is he even there anymore? He shouldn't be doing this work. He should be apprenticing, learning how to fix the sleigh. So what's up with that? Don't get it. All right, let's continue.
They all make toys.
We're continuing.
There's so many toys to deliver around the world. They need extra help in the toys.
So next up,
I'll continue talking.
He says,
it's okay. We can talk over each
other. Buddy says he can't sleep unless he's tucked in. But we saw just a few scenes before that. This is like when he's staying with his dad and wife and all that. A few scenes before that, he falls asleep in the Gimbal's display case. He's sleeping there and then wakes up and his dad's there. So he obviously can't get to sleep without being tucked in. And there's more, but then I just used up the rest of my dislike. So we'll stop there. Yeah. But it feels good to get that off my
That's-
chest. Thank you guys. What was that, Chris?
Good. I'm glad you
Okay.
feel better.
That was really
Okay.
good. It was really,
Okay,
you really stuck it to the movie. That was good.
good. I know I did. I did it.
You did such a
World's
good
best
job.
world's best dislike right
What?
there. That's
And what was really good about it was like, your eyes really told the story, and you've got a great mouth.
oh my God. Appreciate the callback, Chris. Okay, Paul, what was something you didn't like about this movie?
Zoe Deschanel is one of the best things about this movie.
I
But
agree and don't agree. But so yeah, continue.
she seems a little, for my take, a little too young for Buddy. So I looked at this. She is 23 in this movie, and Will Ferrell is 36. Like, he's 13 years older than her.
Okay.
And I'm not against like big
Age
age
gaps.
ranges. If that works for you, that's great. But for me, watching this movie, it feels off. And I was surprised to find out that they originally wanted somebody else.
Oh,
Do you know
really?
who that was?
Wait, for Buddy or for
for
Jovi?
for Jovi.
Mary Steenburgen?
That would have been closer in age, but it was somebody else. Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. Too much soda going in at once. That's why it's like, oh, do you know who it is? I'm trying to stall for time, so I keep stalling while I Google.
Well, okay.
You think young actor?
I think
Tom
young
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Well,
Kelly McGillis?
Oh,
They wanted Dakota
No, Kate
Fanning,
Holmes.
but that didn't work out. So
Wow.
No, not.
I
Darn it, she's from Dawson Creek. Dawson's Creek.
oh,
Katie
Katie
Holmes.
Russell? Oh,
Katie
I'm
Holmes.
thinking,
Yes,
I'm
they
thinking
wanted
Felicity.
Katie Holmes. No, which she is just as young. So there's somebody in the production that wants really young women with older Will Ferrell for some reason. I don't know why.
well, that's just Hollywood.
It's just-
there's always the age gaps like that.
Yeah.
The girl is way younger, and the guy.
I will say this though.
Anyway,
Speaking to this, Paul, I was thinking I would have preferred someone else other than Will Ferrell in this. I know we had some people in our memory section say he was the perfect, but I feel like someone else could have done this better. I don't know who's as tall, because I get that you want the tallness for the juxtaposition of he's an elf, and there's probably a few tall comedians, but I would have liked someone else.
Here's originally the studio that wasn't New Line Cinema. There was a different studio involved before they got involved.
Mhm.
They wanted someone else, not Will Ferrell, but they wanted somebody else. Do you know who that was?
No, otherwise I would have mentioned it. Who was it?
Chris Farley.
No, that wouldn't have worked either.
Okay,
I'd watch it.
I
writer
could
didn't
totally
think
see
so
that.
either,
I would
so-
watch that.
I would watch it too.
Okay,
As long as
I
Chris
would watch
Farley
that.
isn't doing his young, naive,
Yeah.
impish, ooh, I don't know what to do, kind of a impression that he does. But I think
Yeah.
he could have done a good job.
I honestly, if he was a little taller, I feel like Adam
Well,
Sandler
he
would
probably
have done
couldn't
a
have
fun
done a
job.
good job. He probably couldn't have done a good job because Chris Farley was dead. So,
By 2003,
That's true.
So
Yes.
we wanted Chris Zombie. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of works.
Ugh.
yeah, 6 years. You know what? Honestly, I thought who I think might have done. It was a complete unknown at the time.
Hmm.
Because he hadn't started Big Bang Theory, but Jim Parsons. Now, Jim Parsons did the voice in the Elf Buddy musical one that I was referring to earlier. He did a great job.
oh yeah.
And he's 6 years older than Zoe Deschanel, but he has that young face, especially back then.
Yeah,
But he
can
wouldn't
see
have
that.
drawn in the audience, so it may not
Yeah.
have done as well. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's a great question.
Yeah,
Who would I
but-
replace? But I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, regardless, let's continue on.
Mel Gibson.
No. Perfect. Sold. Oh no, Shaquille O'Neal. Why didn't we get Shaq doing this? Chris, let's go back to you. What's something else you didn't like? Shaquille O'Neal not being Elf? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
no, what
that was it. Actually, that was my tragic maker.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm just okay. What kid ever is just watching the evening news on her bedroom TV?
Oh, this was
alone?
another thing. Yeah, so many kids watching the evening news. Also, what the junk? Yes, continue, please.
When they're by
Nobody was watching
themselves,
that. Not
with
even
their
back
parents,
in 2003.
right?
Yeah, no
just
way.
in their bedroom watching. I'm going to watch the evening news.
No, unbelievable.
Was
Completely agree with that, Chris. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Christmas Eve, you're watching like Christmas specials, or you're going to church.
Yeah, Christmas
something.
Eve.
Yeah, you're not watching the news. Jeez Louise. Nate.
Yeah.
What were you watching Christmas Eve? What's something else you doing?
In 2003? Yeah. Can't recall. I can't remember what I did yesterday, Francisco.
I was at my church's candlelight service.
Good for you, Paul.
There you go.
Good.
Yeah, way to go. I thought that there were not enough jokes at the expense of New York City. That was a gold mine for them to do. He could have gotten mugged.
Yes.
He could have tried to call a taxi. The worst thing that they commented about New York City on this movie was that there was gum on the railing of a subway. And Buddy couldn't wait to try it. But I don't know. I think that they missed out on some stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
One of the studio notes was to make Jovi not a store clerk, but a night walker instead to comment on the New York lifestyle.
Oh,
like a lady of the night, night walker?
Yes,
a lady of the night.
A hooker. Okay. Do I have to say it?
Night walker.
Who
calls it a night walker? That sounds like
night walker is like a horror movie type thing
from the dark.
Sounds like a character out of Blade.
Yeah. Well, that's a day walker, but yeah,
some vigilante.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted
so like
her
I
as
was
a vampire. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. No. So like I was saying, Buddy should have got himself a prostitute, and that would have been the perfect family movie.
Right.
You know, it would have been just
who happened to be a vampire prostitute. Yeah.
Right. Who happened to be a vampire prostitute. Yeah. I mean, it writes itself.
Christmas
Come on,
needs.
Francisco.
It's like you take Pretty Woman, Underworld,
that's right,
and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Mash those things together.
In New York City, there you go.
Yeah, in New York City. Mm-hmm. New York City. Wow. Okay, that's something else right there. Paul, how'd you follow that up with something you didn't like?
Let's go back to Will Ferrell.
Oh, okay.
Because what you said earlier was my second dislike.
Oh,
now,
okay. Sorry.
Put a tack in that. I never really understood before when people thought Paul Rubens acting as a man-child as Pee Wee Herman was annoying, because I think he's great.
Okay,
it's fantastic.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But then I see Will Ferrell here acting like a man-child, and I get their frustration. For me, it doesn't work well.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm curious.
Yeah, and I like I said. Oh, I was about to say, and some of one of my likes was the humor, but one of my dislikes is some of the humor as well, like the awkward humor. I don't find some awkward humor I find funny, but like the awkward singing is not funny. It's just awkward and agonizing. It's like I want it to stop. Next, move on.
Which awkward singing? When she's singing,
I'm singing to my dad, or I'm singing in the store, and it's loud.
I thought you were talking about Zooey J. Chanel singing to the crowd, trying to get them all to sing.
The man-child singing.
Okay.
I'm talking about Will Ferrell. My second dislike, Will Ferrell.
Okay. Real quick, did you feel like, speaking of Chris Farley from a little bit ago, do you feel like he's too much of a a man-child in Tommy Boy? From what you remember, I know we haven't covered that on the podcast.
Only a little bit. Like when he
Okay.
does his little, like that's a little. That doesn't seem like
fat guy in a little
it's not
suit, that type of
naive
thing.
innocence. Like he's acting that way. He isn't.
okay.
It's
being that
childish,
way,
but
if that
it's
makes
not.
sense.
It's
Okay.
not. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, speaking of Buddy, my next dislike before we get to Tragic Makers is, and this goes into the whole thing, my tirade before. If Buddy is human, which we've established, how does he two things? How does he make it from North Pole to New York City, without no provisions and without getting frostbite? Not just he's in tights and a coat, and he somehow gets across thousands of miles to without dying of exposure. So that doesn't make any sense.
That's ridiculous.
Francisco, what part of he walked through the candy cane forest don't you understand?
Okay, that's fine. He can walk
What are
through
you
a candy cane.
expecting from this movie? He walked through a candy cane forest after floating away and saying goodbye to a talking claymation narwhal, and you're worried. And,
You know what I
and
want?
keep in mind, this entire movie is based on the concept of a guy who flies around the entire world to every Christian household on Christmas Eve. And you're worried about how he traveled a distance
Because
within a
he's
certain amount of
human.
time.
He's human.
He walked
walking.
4,000 miles.
He's been trained by the elves since he was a baby. Did you see him throw those snowballs? He clearly has superhuman abilities that he
Yes.
has acquired.
Okay, I'll give you
in
that,
his time.
but he cannot change his genes to the point where he can consume sugar and not get diabetes. I mean, I feel like big missed opportunity. Wilford Brimley should have been Buddy the Elf, I think, because
2 words.
that would have been perfect. What was that?
2
Chris?
words. Christmas magic.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Chris Farley because they're both dead.
No.
You know what? You brought up the candy cane forest, Chris, and I forgot about this. But
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen so much of this movie be the adventure of going through the candy cane forest or the 7 levels or all that. I think that would have been way more interesting of a movie than him going to New York. I feel like that's kind of boring.
Because you'd be
Okay.
like, the candy cane forest? That's not possible. Candy
If
canes
it's-
don't grow like trees. You can't have a forest of candy canes. Why is that
No,
child
but-
being disobedient?
Here.
Why are you going with my whole repertoire, Chris? This is my songs, not yours.
These are Francisco greatest hits right here.
Exactly.
So remember, ladies and gentlemen, Francisco doesn't believe in Christmas magic, but
my
he does want to
gosh.
see a movie about Candyland.
True. And disciplined children.
Yes.
Yes. Disciplined children going through a Candyland without eating the candy because they're disciplined.
And the dog dies.
And the dog dies. That's right. Because it amps up the stakes.
That's right.
Wow. Let's get to our
And
Tragic Makers.
I'm going to just roast you a little bit more. I love that you're like, well, the first night he slept in the display and didn't need tucked in, but the second night he did. Uh-oh, plot hole. Have you never had children? like, wait, you need a glass of water to fall asleep tonight, but you didn't need one last night? Oh, wait, you needed to like another bedtime story tonight, but you fell asleep on the couch last night? Come on, 3-year-old, choose a lane.
Yeah.
Exactly. See,
Undisciplined.
you get it, Chris. Exactly. Yes. Oh,
You lack
my
discipline.
gosh. Let's get to our Tragic Makers. Let's be disciplined enough to get to our Tragic Makers. And mine is, I feel like. Okay. I feel like mine
But he's
is
saying
very
no.
good.
He doesn't want you to go to the.
Oh, that's what that was.
Don't
I
let me
didn't
stop
recognize
you.
the sound clip. Great, Paul. Thanks.
Should I play it again?
So, speaking speaking of disobedient children, this isn't so much disobedience as more entitlement, but you
knew it. I called it.
Get your bingo card ready.
There it is.
The son, I forget his name. So not Buddy, but the other son, the younger kid.
Ow! Son of a nutcracker!
No, not him.
That's not that son?
No, I forget. I wish I didn't remember his name. I don't know. The kid that's like 12, that is Buddy's brother or half brother. Anyway.
Oh yeah, James Caan's kid.
Yes, exactly. So he says to James Caan that Michael, thank you. Yeah, Michael says to Mr. Hobbs, he says like, Dad, you only care about yourself. When his dad is working to provide for you, yes, I think the way he's doing it isn't great. He should be giving his son and his wife a lot more time than he does. But that, you just care about yourself. No, okay. If he only cared about himself, then why would he be funding you to go to some private school? It looks private. I don't know. Maybe it's a public school. I don't know for sure. But it's just, and that's another
Hey kid, thing. I told you I loved you when you were born. That's enough. Now I'm trying to provide for you.
That's another thing. This kid goes, right. Why would he go through this part of the park where he knows there's hooligans throwing snowballs at people? Why would he go that way? Why not go another way?
Because he's running away from Buddy.
Well, he should run because
Buddy's
way,
chasing after him.
I don't. Okay, fine, whatever. But anyway,
this segment of Francisco questioning family dynamics is brought to you by BetterHelp. BetterHelp, go on and sign up for a session with your counselor to talk about your discipline as a child.
Oh my God.
This is hilarious to me because Francisco, I called this.
Chris, I don't want to hear it, but I do want to hear your Tragic Maker, Chris. So why don't you go for it?
Okay, it's Mary Steenburgen singing, obviously.
Oh, I mean, it's not great. It's a Tragic Maker for you.
It was purpose. You know what?
Yeah,
you know what? Bad. They recorded it, and she sounded fine the first time. And they had to re-record it and intentionally sound off and bad. And it was funnier. They liked that.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I imagine it's hard for people. I mean, Chris and Nate, you both sing really well. So is it hard for you to sing badly, or is that a challenge to sing badly when you can sing well? I'm not roasting you. I'm just curious. I'm honestly curious.
No, it can be hard to do it and sound authentic. I think authentically.
It's kind of like pretend acting is hard to act as you're pretend acting.
Oh yeah, I guess so, huh?
Right. Maybe.
Okay, I was just curious. But so that's my Tragic Maker, and Chris's Tragic Maker. Let's go to Nate next. What did you hate most that didn't really sing for you in this film?
Ooh, that's good.
I think that I think the genuine Tragic Maker of this movie is that so much of the humor and whether or not people appreciate it is dependent upon whether or not you like Will Ferrell.
Oh, that's
and I
think
that for those of us that grew up watching Saturday Night Live and just saw him acting crazy and kind of appreciating that on a shorter skit segment sort of level. I think that they appreciate his antics. I think they appreciated his antics more in this movie than other people who just came in cold and it's like, who is this guy? Just way back in, I'm old. I watched In Living Color with Jim Carrey. And so by the time he got to Ace Ventura, I knew he was a zany character, and so I was ready for it. I was appreciating it for what it was. Yeah. So I think likewise with this, it's like you either appreciate Will or you don't to some degree. I don't know anybody who's kind of middle of the road with Will Ferrell, because his movies are always so extreme.
Go ahead, Paul. Now,
yeah, I agree with you, what's up, Paul? Nate, but I also disagree with you because because I enjoyed Will Ferrell,
Well, Paul,
with too
I
much
agree with
cowbell
you,
as a Spartan
but I also-
cheerleader, as get off the shed, and I enjoyed it, but not in this movie. I knew who he was coming into this, but I don't. But I do also agree that he's not everybody's cup of tea in this role.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But okay,
Yeah, and I think. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say, I think there is something to also I think like if you like Anchorman, you're probably more likely to like Elf. But I think there is also something to be said for like Will Ferrell plays a type of character pretty consistently. Like he doesn't deviate that much from the types of characters he plays. And there is a little bit of a question in my mind. Like I don't hate Will Ferrell, but I do feel like, sometimes it's like, okay, it's just kind of Will Ferrell being Will Ferrell again. And I do wonder if like someone else could have done Buddy the Elf better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I know Chris Tucker could have been Buddy the Elf.
Oh, sure. Spot on. Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan at the same time.
That would be so.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
They were Buddy and Nutty, and they were a tremendous duo. No, okay, so and that's cool. Just get them out of your system, Paul. Just get them out. You have any more from Rush Hour?
More?
What about
all
the
right.
second
Oh no,
one?
I have a bunch in my system. Be careful what you ask.
Do you want more freaking sound clips, Paul?
He ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
Let's let Nate go, please.
You are like a 3-year-old with a xylophone, and nobody has the power to take it away at this point. That's what that is. I can't compete with the Coca-Cola. I can't do it. I just can't do it. No. And the interesting thing, well, it's probably not interesting to anybody but me. I didn't see Elf until like 10 years after it had come out. My wife and I finally saw it. And by that time, there was Will Ferrell oversaturation. Like 2003 was like right when he was like probably at his peak, at the hottest he could do. And by the time I saw it 10 years later, I was so over Will Ferrell. But at the same time, I kind of had to harken back like, okay, all right. Remember, he was goofy on SNL. He was, there was a time when you really enjoyed his humor and like an old school and all that other stuff, which I thought he was hilarious. And so when I saw it, I had already been burned out on him. And I think it just depends on where you're at when you end up seeing the movie for the first time.
Sorry. Ashley says, Nate was spared from the wrath of Elf for 10 years. I wish I could be spared from its existence. Oh my word, wow. Ashley. All right. So
she'd rate it a classic then.
Oh yeah, right? Absolutely. Yeah. Her saying tragic over and over again, I think is like doth protest too much. Paul, that leaves you. What's your tragic maker?
Much like you, Francisco, I think the worst thing about this film is that it asks me to suspend my beliefs like a lot.
See, I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to make me feel bad.
Well, no, James Caan, but yeah, there's just so many genres, so many trying to juggle. I think it's easier to believe in a Muppet movie than all the antics that's going on in this movie.
So would it have been easier to believe in a, what did we say? A vampire prostitute Christmas movie?
If the setting is in one world, that would be easier because they're adding like different worlds on top of different things and different, all right. And vampires, you can believe like a 200-year-old person would date a 3,000-year-old person. The age difference doesn't bother you in vampire movies.
Fair, very fair. We've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer. Alice, you have a firing solution for us.
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo armed and ready to fire on your mark.
All right. It's time for the moment of truth. Do we rate Elf a classic? If you've never seen it before, then definitely seek it out. Not to mention a rewatch is totally worth your time if you've already seen it. Do we rate it a nostalgic? If you've enjoyed it before, then you'll enjoy it again when you're in the mood for a Christmas comedy. But if you haven't seen it, watch it once for the memes, maybe on 2x speed, knowing that you could end up really liking it or loathing it. Or do we rate it a tragic? If you've never seen it before, keep it that way. And if you have seen it before, don't sully any good memories you have of it with a rewatch. So let's begin with our guests as we like to. Chris, what is your final rating? You had predicted classic. What is your final rating for Elf?
I'm gonna dig my heels in and go with classic.
All right.
I do understand not. Was that the cane yanking me off the stage? Fine.
No,
okay.
that was encouraging you to continue. It was not the gong.
Okay. All right. No, I think that an argument can be made that maybe there was better people to cast for the lead role, but I think overall the cast of characters is still fine, still fantastic, and just the variety of humor and just the quirkiness of it, and it's just a fun, charming, Christmassy story, and I watch it every year.
Nice. Awesome.
I would like to comment on that because with the recasting of Will Ferrell has been brought up by me and others. If you recast Will Ferrell, you're not going to get a lot of the improvisations that I think were gold that Will Ferrell provided. So there's a danger in losing some of its greatness. What potentially may have. But anyway, it would be interesting. But if you recast it, maybe you get more gold in other areas.
Yeah.
It's the butterfly effect,
yeah.
you know.
Ooh, recast it with Christopher Walken. That'd be good.
Wow.
I want to hear, Nate, what is your final rating?
Need more
Crystal City needs more Christmas spirit.
Exactly. You're predicting nostalgic.
Love it.
What's your final rating?
I kept my nostalgic rating. I think it is good it's just a good, funny family film. And I know some people are very torn because of Will Ferrell's performance. I get it. I totally get it. But no, I thought it's good. It's probably not in my top 5 or maybe even top 10 Christmas movies, but I'll watch it. I'll watch it if it's on, it's good.
Awesome. All right. So classic from Chris, nostalgia from Nate. Before we get to me and Paul's rating, we go to our reflux capacitors who help make this time traveling podcast possible. So your final rating, just to be sure, for Elf was a classic. So a classic from the reflux capacitors. So that's 2 classics so far. Paul, you had predicted tragic. Where did it end up for you?
Yes. Well, for this review, I actually watched it 3 more times, once normal and then 2 more times with commentary by Will Ferrell and then the other commentary by Jon Favreau, just to make sure I get it all. And I was wondering if it would have the same effect on me as Napoleon Dynamite, where I didn't care for it before watching it, but after 3 times, I grew to love it.
Oh, wow.
It didn't have that effect on me, but it did have an effect where I tolerate it now. So if somebody, I wouldn't necessarily put it on myself, but if somebody else wants to watch it, I'll sit and watch it with them. But if someone asked me if I would recommend it, I would say it's a comedy, and you may, just like all comedies, you may enjoy it or you may not, depending on your type of comedy. So I'm going to land it with nostalgic and say it might be good for you. It may not, but I will say if you enjoyed it before, you probably will enjoy it still. And if you didn't enjoy it before, you probably still won't enjoy it. So nostalgic.
So this was like you being Wesley from Princess Bride, sort of creating a tolerance to iocane powder is what you did by watching this over and over again.
Yes. I tolerate it now more than I did before.
Okay. So you said nostalgic.
I think he's being more like Wesley from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Annoying.
Oh. Insert "Shut Up, Wesley" sound clip.
Wow.
Shut up,
Sorry. Paul, you did say nostalgic, right? I'm not going crazy.
Classically, yes. I did say it wasn't a tragic, but nostalgic.
Why are you trying to confuse me so badly? Okay, nostalgic. Jeez Louise. All right. Then that leaves me. I had predicted nostalgic, and it was, I will say, I had a lot harder time coming up with likes than dislikes. Dislikes were coming a mile a minute. Likes I really had to think about. But on the whole, I think this is worth watching again. I think it's worth watching for the first time if you've never seen it before, just so you can get some of the memes. I think there are certain ones that are fun. Like Francisco is, of course, one that you will hear, especially if you're named Francisco.
That's fun to say. Francisco.
Or bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. Like just that narwhal voice is fun. Anyway, so I rate it nostalgic as well. So according to the Retro Rewind podcast, much to Ashley's chagrin, we rate Elf a disputed nostalgic film. If you've seen it before, rewatch it. You'll have fun. If you've never seen it before, maybe watch it once on 2x speed, but realize you may like it or you may loathe it. So, but now it's time to get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
20XX!
CalmSat Online. Awaiting incoming transmissions.
It feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 2003 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflex capacitors, namely Deborah Powers, Geek Devotions, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Ruiz, Kenneth and Fabulous Lomax, That's Our Babo, D. Tungsten, Daryl Hafner, Cool Deluxe, Dustin, He's a Big Deal Warford, Flux, Redeemed Otaku, Ryan Frostad, in addition to one other awesome patron as well. Thank you so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. If you want to help keep us flying and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
It's a good thing we don't smell like beef and cheese, thanks to this stream being sponsored by pauljpowers.com.
Say, Francisco, are there any ways to support the show without digging into your Christmas budget?
Actually, no. Dig into that Christmas budget. No. Yeah, Paul, there is. You probably enjoyed this episode if you made it this far. So if you aren't driving, tap the share icon in your podcast player for this episode and send it to a friend saying, I know you like the movie Elf, and so I thought you would enjoy this podcast about it.
Cool. And I'll bet they'll thank you for it.
Well, yeah.
And speaking of thanking people, we want to give a big Christmas hug to Chris Cowan and Nate Henderson for supporting us with their thoughts about Elf. And since I like to go in alphabetical order, we'll start with Chris. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts about Elf.
Oh, thanks so much. Always a pleasure to be on here and, annoy you guys. And yeah, if anybody wants to follow me, I'm on Instagram at Mad Cowan. You can find me there. I play music sometimes.
Very, very cool. Thank you, Chris.
And Nate Henderson, thank you so much for joining us on this romp through Christmas chaos.
Sure, Paul. Sure.
Every chance I get to psychoanalyze Francisco, I will be here for it. So
yes,
I appreciate the opportunity. And I think we had a good session. Francisco, you can see the secretary on the way out for the invoice. And yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It was great. I
just need to take baby steps
check out my. Yeah, that's right. I'm writing baby steps. Yep. Anyway, thank you guys.
I think you're about to say you check out something. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's the funny thing is that there's nothing to check out. I never post on social media. Your Instagram handle at Nate Voices, but you're probably going to find some from a few years ago. But you can enjoy that. Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Nate, as well for being here. And thank you again so much, Chris, Nate, my awesome, not an elf, but as tall as a buddy elf friend, Paul, and all your rewinders, new and old, for another fun voyage. We also want to thank Alutrick for enhancing our music. Find him at alutrick.bandcamp.com or youtube.com/@Alutrick. That's spelled ALLOOUTRICK, then the number 8266 for the YouTube. So thank you so much to him.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
As Santa Claus just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media.
Thank you, EXO, and thank you for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for a Garfield a Christmas special, our next adventure on the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to base to await next mission.
I'll always be here for you. Now, go. Get.
Bye, guys.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, buddy. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, buddy.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal.
Did you hear that?
Was your whole drinking a 2-liter during this was just a lead up to that moment?
It's got to pay off somehow.
Oh my gosh.